You're thinking about selling your property. Do you sell with a realtor or do you sell with a wholesaler? Let's get started. Okay, so for those who don't know, a wholesaler is more on the investment side. So what they'll do, oftentimes they're not licensed with a real estate license. They'll go to a direct seller. Typically it's a distressed situation, right? The seller needs quick cash and they'll lock up the property for, let's call it $100,000. So the seller's under contract with this buyer, and then the buyer says, okay, I have this purchase contract. It's signed, it's ready to go. I'm going to reassign it to someone else for more money. That might be $20,000 more, $50,000 more, right? And then that wholesaler collects the difference. So what makes it interesting is you as a wholesaler, you don't really have to put a lot of money in the game. So maybe a deposit, but I've heard some wholesalers don't. So what are the pros and cons? So the pro of going with a wholesaler is they may already have buyers lined up ready to go. This isn't one of those put it on the market and let's see what sticks. This is a wholesaler. I have this whole market, I have this whole inventory of investors ready to go. Because keep in mind that wholesalers generally work with investors. They don't work with the general population, right? Those who are looking for their beautiful home for their wife and 2 kids and a puppy, whatever, it doesn't matter. That's not their demographic. Realtors, on the other hand, they sometimes might have buyers, they sometimes might not. So they have to go to the open market, but they will attract the investor crowd and the retail crowd. So in retail, meaning the wife, 2 kids, dog, couple, whatever, it doesn't matter. They're buying it for themselves versus investment property. So, and wholesalers already have buyers in hand. Realtors may or may not. It just depends. The big difference is with a wholesaler, they're locking you in as a seller at a specific price and they're hoping to get the difference. So the question is, how much of a difference are they going to make versus what a realtor would charge as part of their commission structure? That's the biggest difference, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what you sell for, it matters what you end up netting. So let's say, easy math, 150,000, you lock in for 100,000, then all of a sudden this wholesaler sells it for 150,000. Unlikely, but let's just use that as an extreme. So here they are making $50,000 off of your property. If you had worked with a realtor, you probably would have found that buyer anyways, right? Because they're still scouring the MLS or they're still scouring networks. But the difference is you would have paid that realtor a commission, a percentage of the total sale. So, 150,000 at a 6% commission, because that's typically what you would see. There is no standard, but typically what you'd see is the lower price points. That's a $9,000 commission that's paid to the realtor. So you lost $50,000 with the wholesaler. You only lost, right? Because you paid them to actually do work for you, right? Disclosures, things like that, and you only had to pay them $9,000. And sure, you can make the same argument for the $10,000 difference if it sold for $110,000 or $120,000. Point being, as long as their percentage isn't, as long as the wholesaler doesn't make more than what the percentage would have been with a realtor, you're better off actually going with a realtor. The other thing to keep in mind is the wholesaler isn't looking out for your best interest, they're looking out for their own. So with a realtor, yes, they're gonna have their own self-interest at heart. Some do, some don't, right? I try to look at myself as the more ethical side. But regardless, they actually have a fiduciary responsibility to you as the seller. Wholesaler doesn't. They are actually the buyers and then they're reassigning the contract. So you're kind of on your own as a seller in terms of representation. That's the other downside to wholesaling. So at the end of the day, it's up to you. If someone comes in and says, look, I am a wholesaler, or hopefully they'll tell you, but I'm gonna lock in your property at this price. If you're okay with that and you're okay with them making money, by all means go that route. If you are willing to have a few more showings, be able to have a little bit, maybe more time on the market, so a little bit of discomfort, but you net a lot more, then you might want to go with the realtor. If you can't decide, talk to me. I can tell you the pros and cons. I can even put you in touch with wholesalers if you want, if you wanted to go that route versus going with the realtor. Regardless, go ahead and comment below because I'm sure I missed something. What are some things you look for when you're thinking about selling your property? Talk to you guys soon.